Mercenaries were coming from the west, told of my disappearance by a man, a betrayer who worked for my father. I had become a commodity that would be redeemed for cash.
So, you trust him?
Jin's reliable.
Yeah? How do you know?
He helped me get out the streets years back, before he threw in with a triad. He's always got an angle, but I'd say he's a friend.
When you're talking about this kind of money, you can lose friends in a hurry. And once we find the girl, we are talking about this kind of money, right, Hana?
Wei Ming Lam is the daughter of the most powerful triad leader in Hong Kong. Don't worry, Glass. If we reach his little runaway first, Lam will pay us handsomely to get her back.
Of course, he'll want us dead as well.
There, that's it. The Lam building.
I've got 11 o'clock straight up.
Jin said he'd be on the pad.
So much for Jin being reliable.
I'll go find him.
Being a quintessential ladies man is absolutely exhausting. Whilst I like Angela, Pamela, Sandra and Rita, unfortunately my love for them is not getting sweeter, which is why after 30 plus years of writing to my everlasting love interest and wife-to-be Kim Basinger, I finally received a reply off of the blonde bombshell babe herself. Yes, she told me she was going to put a restraining order on me. Saucy Minx. I don't care if she's 70 years old, that means she has experience. Well, whilst I was pondering on the merits of being put in such a naughty position, I also had time to look at Fear Effect, quite possibly one of the best 3D action adventures on Little Grey Box, since Neighbours decided to bring Harold back from the dead.
Go!
Graphically, it features much more of an animated manga cartoon style which looks incredibly impressive on Sony's machine, and gameplay similar to many survival horror games on the system, but plays completely differently whilst mixing the combat with stealth and puzzle mechanics similar to point and click games such as Flashback.
What the hell happened, Glass?
They've got her. Lam and Madame Chen took Wei Ming and tried to put the hurt on me. I say it's time we exit.
What about Wei Ming? We can't leave her.
Lam's not going to pony up any cash now. We've lost, Hana. Let's get Deke and go.
I'm not leaving without her, Glass. I know what happens to girls here.
All right. 10 minutes, then I'm a ghost. I'll check this way. See what's upstairs.
The plot has hard bloke Glass, Aussie hard man Deke and my new wife Hannah chasing down fit bird Wei Ming and ransoming her off to her dad for cold hard cash. This means that trips down to Tesco won't be such a miserable shopping experience anymore. I honestly thought this was just going to be another Resident Evil survival horror adventure, but after trying to play it in that style, I realised that this is not that type of game that can be played very quickly. You have to take your time and slowly plot your path through the game, sneaking up to baddies Frank Butcher style and then giving them a West End dry slap. You can see above that each character has a fear meter which turns orange and then red if the character is running around all guns blazing, so you must do your best and try and keep the meter on green if you can. It honestly sounds like a Sunday evening with Boris Johnson. However, it's a very cool way of playing, and adapting to this new mechanic is easier than a trip to Wolverhampton. As you get used to this newer way of playing, you'll easily take out enemies and start to acquire more weapons than Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis combined, and it did take me a while as most times I was playing as Bruce Forsyth. As the game implies, you play as all three mercenaries during this epic 4-disc adventure and will be swapping between them at various points. This is done flawlessly through animated FMV cutscenes and with stellar voice acting, which shows how games at that time were trying so hard to be like big budget movies. Fear Effect takes a lot of inspiration from movies such as The Matrix, Blade Runner, manga, games such as Flashback and even Final Fantasy VII. As you can see, these huge environments where characters can run to and interact with. The further you get, the more this game ups the ante, with the story taking more twists and turns than my Uncle Barry's milk float. As Hannah, Glass and Deke discover that gorgeous babe Wei Ming gives them the runaround, and things are not always as they seem. As they chase her from the land building to an island infested with green blokes who use the new Sunblack 5000 and even to a brothel. I of course was only interested in the intense and wonderful environments that this game had to offer.
Hey, Grace, look. Look!
Anna, get up here now.
Another reason you really have to take your time is that there are several puzzles which come at you thicker and faster than a Songs of Praise hour special. Often you won't be able to progress because you need to find puzzle pieces to solve them or get past tricky traps, so take your time, as it can be very easy to miss something you will need to do later. As you collect items you will have to work out how to use them, and this may cause a wee bit of head scratching, but the solution is never so complicated that you won't figure it out. Also, the game throws in a lot of quick time events where characters must avoid explosions or not touch certain obstacles such as red hot pipes, electrified floors and even burning platforms. Certain environments may have multiple paths, and as is often the case, you may not be able to access one area until you have found a key or progress the story to a certain point. Just like EastEnders though, the gameplay frequently switches to cutscenes and fancy FMV sequences to not only give you a hint as to what to do, but to also wow the player.
Oh, you must wash off the blood. It is the blood that drove them mad. The blood that makes them demons.
What caused this?
Oh, not what. Who? Yesterday, a boy was fishing by himself and fell on the rocks. His leg was cut, and he would have bled to death had he not been found by a young woman, a stranger.
Wei Ming?
She was covered in his blood when she brought him back to the village. We were, of course, grateful and gathered to meet her. That is when the madness began. I tried to run for the train.
Train?
Yes, a military train comes once a week to secure rations of rice from our granary. It is still there now, but the soldiers are afraid of the demons. They shoot anyone who gets near. All because of this girl, Wei Ming.
It's the little things that just blow me away. Right at the start of the game, Hannah sees a window and there's a cool little cartoon sequence which is completely unnecessary, but it shows her looking in the window, and this indicates to the player what they need to do. The bosses are also quite interesting, will certainly give you a run for your money. I did say that you had to try and keep the fear meter at green, however there were times, and I mean many times, when I rushed through a bunch of enemies and this panicked my protagonist and this also drained my meter. So when I would meet a boss, one hit was all it would take to hit to kill me. So there's a lot of intense adrenaline pumping challenge in there as well. The hardest boss for me was this bloke who screams and then fires a succession of shots. Coming from a number of blow them all a new hole video games, I realised that this old tactic was not going to work anytime soon, and I would have to cheekily work out his pattern. Now most may find this annoying, but I actually applaud the game for making me work harder than a work experienced bloke at Aldi. Sometimes mindlessly killing bosses is great, but the way this game challenges the player and forces them to fight, it's way more memorable than my mother-in-law's line dancing class. Now, after chasing this bloke Benny Hill style and ducking and weaving like Bruno and Frank and the Beanstalk, I finally took him down, and what a feeling.
This is it? Madam Chen's?
Yeah. I was hoping I'd never see this place again.
Okay, I'll go inside with Wei Ming. Anna, stay here with Deke and cover our backs.
I'm coming with you.
Not yet. Just in case Madam Chen recognizes you. And that is a possibility, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you, we have a deal, right?
I would rather be returned to my father in one piece. So once I have seen Madame Chen, I will do as we agreed. You will get your money, Mr. Grass.
Good girl. Let's go.
Hey, what happened back at that village, eh, Hannah? Well, you think there's an answer inside that building?
Inside those walls, there's only pain and despair.
There, that's her.
Yes, child.
I am here to see you, Madame Chen. I am Wei Ming.
You have been expected, child.
And Mr. Glass, I expected you to be dead by now.
Also, get into the habit of saving your game constantly. There are several save points within the environment which are not just there to make you feel weak. Being a macho bloke, I just went, oh yeah, whatever, Jimmy Hill, and lost significant progress because this game threw some harder blokes at me and I was wiped out before I was ready. Yes, the control still uses the old-fashioned tank controls, and I have found that the characters do move a little slower than I'm used to. This is eased somewhat with the game being compatible with the PlayStation 1's handy-dandy analog control sticks. However, I still found moving a real problem when trying to get through a quick time event. No matter how I tried to move, I would die time and time again even though I was moving faster. This game seems to demand that you move from the get-go, and any wasted seconds means that you are brown bread, so expect to replay these a lot. You will also have to select weapons from the menu before you are ready to use them, as you may get blindsided a bit during your first initial playthrough. There's nothing worse than engaging in firefights or fisticuffs without a weapon selected, and so always be prepared. The gameplay is just phenomenal, and I honestly can't stop playing it. The tension and atmosphere and fear effect is just off the charts, and it's unlike any game I've ever played before. The intense action, cutscenes and puzzles are just so well done and carefully layered. This may be the best 3D action adventure game on the PlayStation 1. With multiple endings and plenty of replay value, you won't be putting this one down anytime soon. Thanks so much, and cheers for watching. I'm off now to ponder a career as Kim Basinger's personal body inspector. I'll see you next time.